coast to coast, it's your hosts, the Lombardi Leap and Mersey FB. This is Beyond the Frozen Tundra.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Lombardi Leap, here with Mersey FB. Let's talk Packers football. Well, specifically, we're going to talk about the NFL draft. Get a little, some draft talk going up in here right now.
Favorite time of the year. It's like Christmas came early.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a good time to look at some prospects here. I mean, we're looking at the college playoffs. A lot of these players have gotten a few games under their belt, to say the least, here moving forward. And we can talk about couple of guys you like, a couple of guys I like, and one guy you think we should stay away from, and one guy that I think that that the Packers should stay away from as well. And spoiler alert, ironically, they're both corners, which is our biggest need this year.
Yeah. They are both corners.
To say the least, is our biggest need. Yeah, I mean, we'll just rip the Band-Aid off with this. Chris Johnson, San Diego State University. Packers did scout one game recently here. Man, I really like this guy. And I understand the hype. And I understand the hype so much that the more film I watch of him, and he was just named co-defensive player of his conference as well.
That's actually a great achievement for him. That's great for him.
Yeah. So I tried to I wanted to pick people who I thought were gonna be there,
Yeah.
for the Packers pick in the second.
I did the same thing with the exception of one player.
But the more I watch Chris Johnson, I love the way he moves overall. He's not he doesn't have breakaway speed, He's not the fastest cornerback, but man, his intelligence is just something that you cannot teach at all whatsoever. The way he uses the boundary, the way he leads quarterbacks with his eyes in motion just to deceive them and tricking them into throwing balls into dangerous positions. Chris Johnson, I comped him to basically a less explosive Stephen Gilmore. Realistically, that's my opinion of him.
High-end comparison. That's great.
Yeah. And I do believe he could definitely achieve that eventually. I mean, obviously going to the NFL, nobody's perfect. I mean, my biggest thing there, my two kind of quote unquote red flags for him, neither of which I'm overly worried about because of how intelligent he is as a player. Like I said, he doesn't have that top elite speed. He can get burned over the top, by the faster guys. And you kind of wonder too. I mean, playing for San Diego State, you're not necessarily playing the most elite of the elite guys. So there is definitely going to be an adjustment there. But this guy, if he's there at Packers pick late second round, which is what we're kind of hoping it's going to be. Hopefully it's the last pick of the second round, because we won the Super Bowl. I mean, if he's there, he's one of those guys where I'm I run up. And I would honestly even consider trading up for him because he immediately becomes your best corner in the secondary. But he's probably not going to be there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I haven't looked much into Chris Johnson, so thanks for that. My first guy, Keith Abney II out of Arizona State. He is 6 foot 190, and he will be 20 at the time of the draft. Projected as a round 1 to 2 guy, so there's a chance he's not there. This is not the player who I talked about as outside, will be picked before us, by the way. So let me start out with 36 solo tackles, 2 interceptions, 12 pass breakups over his college career, I believe. And then this season specifically is an 85.6 coverage grade, a 75.6 run defense grade, a 44.4 completion percentage allowed, which is above average for the cornerback position in college. He is sticky in both man and zone coverage with 73.0 and 81.1 coverage grade, respectively, in both of those. He has great ball skills, and he's got the temperament to tackle. And for corners, you see this a lot with CV and some of the other top corners in the league. He's got that mentality of the top alpha corner no receivers ever catching anything on him ever type of mentality.
Yeah, I like him too. Like, I know you and I have kind of talked about him on the side a bit, and like he's what your corner like 4 or 5.
He's my corner 6, but all the guys I have in front of him are first round in my opinion.
Yeah, and I have Chris Johnson just slightly above Abney, and that's simply just because like I do think Chris Johnson is the more intelligent player. But I mean,
That's
if
fair.
if if Abney's there and Chris Johnson's not, yeah, I'm running the card up and taking him. No questions asked.
Real quickly, while I talk about unfortunately some of his cons, his coverage grades would be, if he came onto the Packers today, his coverage grades would be the highest of any corner on the team, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, like he's played. I mean, he's played good football.
He's played great football.
He's played really, really good football, and I think the last corner we drafted out of Arizona State was that which Randall or Rollins? I get the two mixed up.
I have no idea. I could not tell you.
Like,
anyway, some cons on Keith Abney. He's a little stiff out of some of his breaks, but that's coachable, and can occasionally miss tackles by not wrapping up and just kind of lowering his head and shoulder. And he can tend to allow some separation over the middle. However, he's great on routes outside the numbers. He's excellent. He knows how to use the sideline, allows very little separation. He's quite physical at the catch point, and he runs a 4.46, which is always helpful at the position.
That's better. And it was Demarius Randall. We drafted him in 2015. Yeah, he played for Arizona State. So look, there's some connection there.
Mm-hmm. Different regime, but still some connection. Do you want me to move on to my second guy? Or do you have more points about Keith Abney?
I just have one quick point about, you say different regime, but I believe 2015, when he would have been drafted by the Packers, you know who the director of scouting was?
Gutekunst?
Ryan Gutekunst.
Nice.
So not so much the different. But yeah, talk about Malik Muhammad, because Malik Muhammad is probably, like, realistically, like, I know I talked about Chris Johnson, but Malik Muhammad's probably my favorite corner of the draft.
He's a good one. Malik Muhammad, 21 years old, 6 foot, even 188, out of Texas. 26 tackles, 2 interceptions, 4 PBUs, and 1 sack. Those 2 interceptions came in a big game, which is good. You want to have your biggest moments in the big games, which was the Red River rivalry. Mm-hmm. He's projected around round 3, so he should definitely be on our board. Good instincts, 76 or 71.6 man coverage grade, 72.0 zone coverage grade, 71.5 coverage grade in general, and a 73.4 run defense grade. He takes good angles to the ball. He's good in coverage. He's improving his playmaking ability. I will say this year he's gotten his hands on a lot of passes that should be intercepted, but he just ends up knocking them down. His traits aren't top tier, like physically, so he can struggle a little bit in run defense. And he has the tendency to be like a streaky cornerback, so it's like good to really good, or it's not quite there sometimes. But he does run a 4.47 40, which tells you that he has pretty good speed to match up with receivers at the NFL level.
Yeah, no. Part of the reason why I like Malik Muhammad, he gives me vibes of a certain Seahawks cornerback that we wanted the Packers to trade for here recently.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Huh.
And the reason is like I really, really like his size. You and I both, we like our corners.
Yeah, so this is an aside, but now with the way the NFL is going, you see bigger receivers. I don't think that you should draft a cornerback if they're 5'11" or smaller.
Yeah, which I understand. Yeah, I understand that argument.
I will say one thing. I forgot to mention this. Both Abney and Malik Muhammad can survive in press coverage. Like, you'd like them to do that too. They're physical. at the line of
Mhm.
scrimmage. They won't get pushed off.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I just like the fact that I know that Malik Muhammad can match up with those bigger wide receivers, in spite of his size. I think the ball hawking thing, interceptions are fluky. I know the Packers like guys who can make plays on the ball, but the fact that he's getting pass breakups, I mean, it's right there for him.
It's right there. I mean, they don't really care about interceptions that much. They drafted Eric Stokes, and he had like 3 across 4 years in college or 3 years in
True.
college. So
That is very true. I know he's projected like a late round.
he's in the 110s for some reason, and it doesn't make sense off the PFF board. But I think different sites have him earlier. NFL Draft Buzz, which is like okay, has him as corner 5 or corner 6.
Which I can agree with.
Yeah,
that.
I
mean,
agree with. He's my corner. Where is he for me? He is corner 7 for me.
I'm just impressed with the fact that he started as a true freshman.
That is impressive.
So he has the experience which the Packers like. He's played for Texas. That's a good team. The Packers did bring in a guy who I didn't like last year and thought he was a nickel only, Barron. And I thought,
Yeah.
no questions asked, I thought he was better than Barron, night and day better, especially when it comes to the boundary. I could see him like 3rd round pick, 100%. That would be amazing if you can get him in the 3rd. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Packers picked him in round 2.
I wouldn't be either.
I know that obviously we just talked about these corners here. We talked about year 3. I have a couple more, but we'll get into those closer when the time comes. I got a couple guys stashed away, a couple secret guys. I don't want to spoil everything right away. But let's talk about that defensive line. I mean, obviously, we lost Devontae White for the season here. You and I do not like Colby Wooden at all,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Well, outside of like Warren and Nazir Stackhouse, I mean, I think that we could totally upgrade, but it just depends on what side of the aisle you fall on Carl Brooks.
Yeah, I mean, Carl Brooks, like, just talk about him real quick. I think he's great as your DT 4 or 5. DT 2? No, I'm not okay with that.
Not great, no.
I'm not okay with that. And, like, speaking of which side of the aisle you fall on, it really kind of is a matter of what you think the Packers are going to look for in a defensive tackle. Do they want a run stuffer, or do they want a guy who's going to bring pressure? So it's tough for me to kind of figure out, okay, what side of the aisle they're going to fall on. More recently, I'm inclined to lean on a pass rusher, more of a pass rusher DT. And the only reason I say that is because I think the Packers, when it comes to the run defense, they rely more on their linebackers and their safeties than they necessarily do their defensive tackles. So that
is true.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I'm leaning now more towards a more pass rush based defensive tackle. That's not going to stop me from putting Darrell Jackson Jr. on here, because I've watched, being in Florida myself, I've watched a lot of him play. Packers did scout one game of him, and they did have an interest in a gentleman from, I think he was drafted last year, if I recall, Montez Sweat, too. The Packers did call the Tennessee Titans to see if he was available.
Tavondre Sweat.
Montez Sweat
is the Chicago edge rusher drafted in 2018.
I got Bears on the brain already.
Yeah. Tavondre was drafted 2023.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So going on, 2 seasons ago. But I was a big fan of him coming out. I like him. I really like Darrell Jackson. The dude's massive. Like, he is 6'4", 6'5", 330, 35 pounds. Like, he's a big dude, big frame, a lot of rotational upside. He can 2-gap, and he's honestly, for a dude his size, he is quick. He can move. I would say the biggest issue, though, is with him being as big as he is, which tends to be when you're that giant of a human being, you're going to have inconsistent hand usage and you're going to have leverage lapses. My kind of NFL comp while watching him, a gentleman you might be familiar with, John Jenkins.
Not very, but I remember the name.
Remember the name? George Bulldog.
Yep.
So John Jenkins with some Jonathan Hankins upside.
Okay.
Like I definitely see a lot of potential there in him, and he's a 4th round pick. So if you can get that out of him, especially, he's immediately better than TJ Slayton. No questions asked.
Yeah.
A lot more pass rush upside too.
You meant Colby Wooden, sorry, instead of TJ Slayton?
No, I mean TJ Slayton, who we let go from last
year. Yeah. Sorry, I know who he is. I just wanted to make sure that you were talking about the right person. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Immediately better than TJ Slayton from last season, and night and day better than Colby Wooden. That's not even questions asked here. So, I mean, depending on what they go for, I'm now, like I said, I'm now leaning more towards a pass rush specialist, just kind of more of a pass rushing DT, given Wyatt's unfortunate injury history and injury here too as well, and just kind of how Hafley runs his run defense here. But I'll let you talk about, obviously, the 2 guys who I'm obviously going to be big fans of because they are
great
current Georgia
tackles.
Great, yeah, either current Georgia Bulldogs or a former Georgia Bulldog.
I'll start with the one who is going to most likely be gone by the time we get to pick, and that's Christian Miller out of Georgia. He's 21. He's 6'4", 310. Oh, no, I think he's 20. No, he's 21. 1.5 sacks in the season. Wait, no, sorry. 0 sacks. Unfortunate. No, wait. I'm messing up my stats. He got one.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure he got one.
I think he's got 2 or 3 now by this point in the season. ESPN's out of date. But I want to focus on the PFF grades here. 69.6 pass rush grade. 70.5 true pass rush grade. 11.3% pass rush win rate. 88.1 run defense grade, and 7.2 run stop rate. The pass rush win rate and run stop rate are all in the top percentiles for defensive tackles, as well as the true pass set grade and the pass rush grade. So he is an excellent pass rusher who is also great at defending the run. Like he's excellent at defending the run. All around defensive tackle. He's asked to line up everywhere along the defensive line and can do it well. You see a very strong base with him. Again, production is the knock, but hey, at Georgia, you've got 18 guys on the defensive line who can all produce at a high level when called upon. So it's just kind of whatever. He kind of needs to figure out how he's going to use his burst, because it's inconsistent, but when he really flashes, he flashes. And I feel like sometimes he lets himself get kind of moved off the ball and washed down a block, which isn't the best, but hey, that's coachable. He's played in at least 12 games over the past 3 years. And I have comps for my defensive linemen, which is good. My comp is Devontae Wyatt with better run defense.
I like that. That's good.
Because he's the same pass rusher to me.
Yeah.
Just he's got better run defense.
Another former Georgia Bulldog. Makes sense.
Yeah, it might seem like helmet scouting there, but trust me, it's not. I swear. I'm better than that. And my second defensive tackle, we will have a shot at him for sure. It just depends on what round we want to do. He will be in round 3 to 5 range. Is Bear Alexander. He's a little older. He's 23, but he's 6'3", 302. Defensive tackle out of Oregon by way of USC and Georgia. 6.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, 64.9 pass rush grade, 74.9 true pass rush grade, 7.4 pass rush win rate, 79.8 run defense grade, 12.6% run stop rate. So again, great run defender and great pass rusher. He's got violent hands. He's a strong run stopper, as said. Plays with a steady motor and has pass rush upside. I think it could be a little technically refined. So that's just like development. Right now, he mostly wins off of athleticism and just kind of being able to move offensive linemen off their spot. He's mostly lines up over the B gap, which gives you a bit of an idea of how he'd play. And my comp for him is he's Jonathan Allen-esque.
I like that. I do like that. And honestly, like where he's going, I could see him ending in late round 2 as well. Like
Yeah, if he keeps going up. Like if he has a great playoff, then he'll be a round 2 pick.
if he again, he's another one of those picks where it wouldn't shock me. I'm kind of leaning the Packers going DT round 2,
Mhm.
just kind of the need there. So I mean, between Bear Alexander, I would love that as love him as like a second or third round pick.
He will be a player where like where the post season, like the pre-draft process is a big thing for him. Like Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, whichever one he decides to go to in the combine will be big for him because he does have character concerns. But from my understanding is when he transferred from Georgia, USC just offered him more money and more playing time because at Georgia, they hockey line change people through is the best way to describe it on the D line, keep people fresh. He didn't really get along with the coaching staff there, and it just he kind of fell out of favor. And then he transferred to Oregon, where they also again paid him a lot of money. So he treated college as like free agency almost with the NIL.
Yes. Yeah, he did.
So-
he really did. It's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny, but if that's the concern where he tried to maximize the amount of money he was getting for playing in college football, I can't really get upset at that because you're just kind of trying to secure your future. He's still in good standing with the Georgia players that he was on the team with that I'm aware of. So like they still hang out and stuff. You can check their socials.
Yeah, I like him. I definitely like. Like I said, I would not be mad at all. I'd actually be quite happy if he was our second or third round pick. I know that there are some questions at linebacker here moving forward. I mean, will they extend Quay? McDuffie's playing well. Kyron Hopper scenario, but I think that if one guy falls, especially there to the second, I feel like you have to take him and kind of worry about the lineup later. And I think you want to talk about this guy.
I would
CJ
love to
Allen.
talk about him. Yeah, CJ Allen. So he's 6'1", 235. He's only 20 years old coming into the season. Mike linebacker out of Georgia. So he's been calling the shots this season now that they've introduced green dots into college football on defense. So he's had the calls directly relayed to him. And he's been telling everyone on the defense, I'll say 42 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 76.0 pass rush grade. Or no, yeah. 91.2 run defense grade and a 60.7 coverage grade. He's projected around in the round 2 area. Let's start with the pros. He's a great tackler, good pursuit, and he flashes on the screen in run defense. Like he knows what he's doing immediately. He's a great communicator as well. It's important to note his worst rated game this season was against Georgia Tech, where he played through an injury. He came back early off of a knee injury where he had surgery done on his meniscus to play.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, cons, coverage isn't where you'd like it to be, but I think it could definitely get better. And as a linebacker, he is on the smaller side, so he's a little bit limited by his frame, but you're seeing smaller linebackers work out for the Eagles. Like Nakobe Dean is a rock star, but CJ Allen is bigger than Nakobe. So that does help. My comp to him is, it feels like a bit of a cop out, but it's Roquan Smith because of the way he leads the team. He's just everywhere in run defense.
That's bold.
Yeah, it's bold.
That is bold. I like it.
Also, both wore 3.
That is. Oh yeah, they did. That is funny. Yeah, they both wore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely both wore 3. I mean, if I had to think about, I mean, CJ Allen would fit easily. Just kind
He'd
of.
be the Quay replacement for sure.
Yeah. I do think that. Like, if I had to pick realistically, like 2 guys who I think are going to be there, for the Packers when it comes to like round 2 and 3 that I like. I mean, Malik Muhammad, no questions asked. I would run him. I'd take him, and then probably Bear Alexander too as well. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
for you, what are you kind of thinking?
I would agree for sure. I think Christian Miller is drafted off the board in the like by pick 30 at the latest.
Mhm.
CJ Allen around that range to early second. If I personally, if I'm really lucky in the draft, Keith Abney falls to us, and then I would take one of Bear Alexander or Darrell Jackson Jr.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Because I'm personally, for defensive linemen at least, that I'm big on the pass rush is teachable aspect of the game. Like, you can teach a defensive tackle how to pass rush, how to use leverage if you have a good defensive line coach, and we have a good defensive line coach right now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I agree with that. I'm more confident in our defensive line coach than I used to be here, especially. I mean, we obviously talked about defense here, and I know you haven't looked into offense as much as I have. Um, I've looked into a couple guys. Do you want to talk about your one
yeah, I'll talk
offensive
about my
lineman
one
here?
offensive lineman real quick, and then you can kind of take it away. Um, Xavier Chaplin, offensive tackle slash guard out of Auburn, has started all 10 games at left tackle. Massive human being. Massive human being. I believe he is 6'7", 340.
Whoa, yeah, 6'7".
Were you joking about this, or was that like?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
No, I wasn't.
oh,
I
okay.
just said it.
I
I
thought you
just
were
said it.
doing
I'm
like
like,
the
oh wait.
6'7" joke. Ooh, sorry.
That's why I laughed because I'm like, oh, this is so dumb. I didn't even try to do that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he is 6'7", 348. He's a junior. He's lined up exclusively at left tackle this year through 12 games.
I believe the Packers have scouted 2 games of Auburn as well.
75.3 pass block grade, 56.5 run blocking grade, but that can be coached up. And the run blocking is something where if like your offensive line has one weak link, then it's just kind of all going to go to crap. His important to note, his true pass set pass block grade is 73.0. True pass sets are no RPOs or play action, so he can hold them. He can hold his own on an island pretty much. His worst rated game was against Oklahoma, which is like they have a pretty good defensive line room, especially on the edge. So you can't really hold that against him.
And like we do, like realistically, like we do need you do need a guy who you can develop. You do need a swing
He's definitely
tackle.
like a developmental tackle right now. I do think for a larger tackle, his foot quickness is surprisingly good.
Yeah, for being a 6'7" guy. Yeah, I was worried about that
Yeah.
because I think Belton's obviously a larger guy, and they kicked him inside.
Mm-hmm. He can anchor down against like power rushers very well. So
That's good. That is good. I mean, nowadays though, you are dealing with more speed rushers, especially, and we've seen
mhm.
like what happens with like Rasheed Walker and such. And the fact that he is a left tackle, that kind of does give you some Jordan Morgan insurance in case that doesn't work out. I believe it's going to work out.
I hope it works out.
Yeah, I do too, especially because you're spending a first round pick. But another guy who I like, and I think the Packers like him too, because they practically lived at Missouri this year. They scouted 3 games and a practice here. A gentleman by the name of Caden Green. He is 6'5", 324, kind of in that Zach Tom, that Zach Tom frame.
I keep forgetting Zach Tom is that big. He does not look
I
that
know.
big.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of reminds me of Dominic Puny from last year, who I know a lot of people wanted the Packers to
Good
draft.
pull. Good pull.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just doing my stuff here a little bit here, and I mean, he's played all over the offensive line, and we know the Packers love that. They love the versatility shtick. He's projected around rounds 4 through 6. So it's going to be interesting to see where he falls depending on how well his combine goes. He does have that mauler mentality. Like, he can really grip guys and pull them. And
Yeah.
another thing too, he really shines at. I mean, the Packers love pass protection. They believe, like, if you're a great pass protector, they'll teach you the run blocking kind of a thing.
Hmm.
And that's why they tend to draft guys who are way more proficient in pass protection than they are in run blocking. And like I said, he's not a terrible run blocker. I'd say he's a slightly below average run blocker. And I know he has that positional flexibility, but he does tend to overextend a bit. And he's just like, he doesn't necessarily have the speed to recover that well. So that I do think he's one of those guys where you can play him outside, like as a swing tackle, emergency tackle kind of situation. But I do see him as a better fit along the interior offensive line, which, I mean, realistically, that is kind of where you're looking at. You do need some more depth there. But to have him even step in as a swing tackle, I wouldn't be too worried about that at all whatsoever. I think he does have potential there too as well. I have two other offensive players that are really out of left field here. And my reasoning for these offensive players is that Romeo Dobbs is going to be gone. Okay.
Everyone better make peace with that, by the way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
dropping this bomb, but hey.
There's going to be one person who's like, I can't believe the Packers didn't re-sign him. No, he's gone. Okay. Just let it go. Romeo Dobbs is gone. The offense is going to be better for it. And then Wicks and Reed are going to be free agents the year after.
which they retain one of them.
Yeah,
whoever they like more.
most likely. A guy who I fell in love with because I was watching the Penn State game versus Indiana, and I immediately was like, music playing.
Of which it came down to the wire. That one they got lucky.
It did. And Omar Cooper Jr., my goodness. I would love him in the Packers. Like, I would. Like, I have a Reed jersey. I just got a Cooper jersey, too, for defense. Not to brag or anything.
Making me jealous.
But-
Word.
But I love Omar Cooper Jr. The way he runs routes, his hands, like he moves the chains. And like he's not a burner, but he is pretty explosive. But just the way he controls his body when he grabs the ball, I have not you don't see too much of that. Like that Penn State catch was elite. It was an elite catch. He only got 1 foot down, but college is all it takes. Still though, like the level of athleticism he had to have for that catch against Penn State, I would love him in the Matt LaFleur offense. Because he would play a slot. He kind of reminds me of like a slot Josh Reynolds with shades of Rashid Shaheed a bit in there. So I think that you can put him in the slot. You don't have to worry about Wicks or Reed moving forward. And that pushes Matthew Golden where I think he should play at the Z. And you have Christian Watson at your X. You still have that speed, you have that durability, and you have those great hands moving forward here. And the other guy, because we do have to ask questions here. What do you do about Josh Jacobs moving forward? Because he's owed a lot of money, and running backs
He's
tend to
what,
wear
like
down.
31?
Oh no, I think he's like going to be 28 or something like
Oh,
that.
okay. Well,
Like-
that's not as bad.
Yeah, not as bad, but running backs, they do tend to.
Yeah, he's 27, turning 28. It'll be his birthday Super Bowl week if we make it.
When we make it.
When we make it.
Positive energy here.
Yep.
And Emmanuel Wilson's an unrestricted free agent. Chris Brooks is an unrestricted free agent. Marshawn Lloyd just got designated to return from IR. His health is a question. One of the things the Packers have been desperately missing in that running back room is a dude who can turn and burn. Like Josh Jacobs is more of a ground and pound kind of a guy. He hasn't really had many breakaway runs, and
That's
some of
what
that
they
is due
drafted
to.
Lloyd for.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The Packers have been pretty incessant on adding one. So I guess we'll get a good look here, hopefully, if Lloyd can stay healthy for more than 2 games. That's what we're hoping here. I really like Jamal Haynes out of Georgia Tech.
Great running back. Great
Yeah.
running back.
Yeah. Packers scouted 2 games. Round 6. I'm not even going to complain about that. Yeah, that's his projection right now. He's so quick. He is so quick. His feet are so quick. Like, my goodness. It's almost like he was a converted wide receiver, which is what he was. And he's actually Georgia Tech's first 1,000-yard rusher since 2017, and he's a converted wide receiver. Like,
Yeah.
he's not, like I said, he's a smaller frame, and the Packers do like you to be able to run block. Like, he's only 5'9", 190 pounds. But, I mean, Aaron Jones developed into a pretty good pass blocker. So I definitely think it's one of those things where if he's willing, they can teach him. I kind of get McLaughlin, the running back in Denver. I get his vibes. And again, that's definitely how Matt LaFleur would use him too, as well. I'd love to have like another Swerve and Irvin, Tyler Irvin.
Yeah.
He's one dude I do miss. Ultimately, I don't necessarily think they draft a wide receiver this year. I do think they could take a running back. Definitely they're taking an offensive lineman because water is wet and you can never have enough of them.
Offensive line depth is the thing that's always good to have. Like, you can never have too much of it.
It's like that in defensive ends too. Like defensive ends those are probably the two positions where you're like, more, please, more. Well, I want to get into the dislike section here. And I think we'll have more to talk about your guy. So I'll get my guy out of the way first here. I see a lot of Packers who are like, Packers should draft Will Lee the third. Like, I normally like my bigger corners too, just as much as anybody else.
I can tell you why they want it. Yeah, they're just seeing 6'4" corner who runs a low 4.3 or something, and they're like, "Ooh, I want that." But no,
they're seeing a larger corner, and one of the reasons why I don't like him is because he's played a lot of football, but he still looks like a rookie out there when it comes to his technique, and especially when it comes to zone coverage. And the Packers really they prefer pattern match. That's what Hafley runs. That's what I'd imagine Hafley's protege is going to run with the Packers too as well. His instincts in zone coverage especially, they're so inconsistent there. Like, I'm glad he can tackle. He does have 7 pass breakups. Doesn't have the interceptions. The Packers have been to a lot of, I think they've been to 2 or 3, I think 3 Texas A&M games now at this point.
Okay.
I don't think it's necessarily for Will Lee. I think it's more for their, they have a left tackle who can play center. I think that's probably why they're there.
The left guard, Amaj Reed Adams.
No, Zuen the third.
Oh, yeah, that guy. He can play center?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he took almost 200 snaps at center this year.
Wow, 122 snaps at center. Huh.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely potential there for him. And I think that's why they're more. Yes. Yeah.
96.9 pass block grade. Oh my God.
Very good pass blocker. So I think they're more there for those guys than they are for Will Lee. I would be disappointed if the Packers drafted Will Lee, because I want somebody who's a little bit more refined, like Abney, Muhammad, Chris Johnson. Like he's like a bottom 20, 25 corner. I like Devin Moore out of Florida more than I like Will Lee. And Devin Moore is like a projected 6th
round, yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about your guy. One of my favorite corners, actually. Even though I don't think the Packers are going to take him.
So it's Xavier Scott, defensive back out of Illinois. I know certain people are very high on him, or at least were over the summer, like Connor Rogers of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. Great show, highly recommend. I'm not a huge fan on him because he had a big foot injury, which kept him out for most of last year. So you don't really have tape on him. He's slower at the position than I would like and kind of frame limited a bit. So which means he's going to be more of a slot defender. He's great against the run. I'll give him that. Give him his credit where credit's due. I don't think he holds up in coverage as well as you would like. And I think he's going to run in the 4.6s. Probably.
You think so?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I do not like his coverage skills, and I would not want him outside. Like I think it's very much like a Cooper DeJean argument, but like worse. And that's very harsh. I don't want to be harsh, but there's
just gonna hate me then.
Yeah.
Because guess what my NFL comp for him is?
Nate Hobbs.
He now plays with our former quarterback,
Jalen Ramsey.
Yes.
That's awful.
Okay.
Wait,
I love his I love his man coverage and press technique, and the ball skills are there.
are you comparing
Like-
him to like current day Jalen Ramsey or like Jalen Ramsey when he was drafted? Because those are two different players.
I think he can be. I think I think he has the potential to be drafted Jalen Ramsey. Like I really do.
We are on opposite sides of like the football field on this player.
I'm big on instincts, and when I tell you, like, I think it was the Michigan game from last year. Like, you don't have a lot of tape on him this year, 100%, which is a bummer, absolute bummer. You don't like that foot injury this year, stinks. I wish he could have played all year because I do think he would have propelled himself into.
It was a big foot injury too. Like it was one of the bad ones.
So I understand the apprehension there, 100%. I like Xavier Scott. I understand why other people don't like Xavier Scott because of his frame, but I think he's just so I think he's scrappy. I love his instincts. I love the fact that he gets to the ball no matter what, and I think he's a better mover than DeJean. Like I really do. But now I hear you though. Like especially with the foot injury, I think the combine's going to be big for him. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready for the Senior Bowl, but I think he should be ready for the combine. For sure. I mean, there is definitely a lot more boomer bust there with him. I 100% agree on that. Like the board's Abney, Malik Muhammad, Chris Johnson, and Xavier Scott. They took Xavier Scott. I would be upset.
I would be too. Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of him.
Very upset.
But I would be upset. Like I would be upset. So I don't think he's really on the Packers' radar right now. They haven't had any games this year where they scouted him. He was injured for the one game they showed up at Illinois. So I mean, it's a lot more unknowns. If he's sitting there in like the 5th because he couldn't do the combine, like go for it. Take a flyer. Like honestly, you need more cornerback help as it is. But all in all, I like the cornerback draft. DT draft is a little bit slimmer, so I don't know about you, but I think they could go a DT a lot higher than.
Yeah, for what we're looking for, defensive tackle is much thinner than corner. But
So
also
I
like
definitely.
you do get into like the no man's land of corner after like round 5. Yeah, it depends on how much you like Davison Igbinosun or like DJ McKinney, Christian Gray, Jermaine Matthews. I mean, even Jermaine Matthews is a little smaller than what you would like.
I do like DJ McKinney.
I will say late round guy who I'm a fan of, Jair Hill. Just like as an honorable mention thing, Jair Hill I'm a fan of.
Yeah, Michigan. A lot of
played
upside.
Great in the game or the game, even though they lost, but a lot of upside with him. Had an interception, so
I like a lot of the guys that we talked about here today. I'm getting excited for draft season, but more importantly though, you and I got to talk about the Bears next episode.
That'll be next episode.
Got a lot to talk about next episode. Until next time.
To Packers fans coast to coast, thanks for going beyond the frozen tundra. We appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Pack Go!